Whether it's big budget Hollywood blockbusters or hit TV shows, my next guests have been in the game for a long time, and nothing is slowing them down. Hi, I'm Nessa, here in the new home of Stoop, a beautiful apartment high above the city on West 52nd Street. With this gorgeous view behind me, what better place to connect with some of my favorite stars? Like Forest Whitaker. Forest is back on the big screen as Archbishop Desmond Tutu in The Forgiven. By the way, did you know the Academy Award winner is a musical force to be reckoned with? I learned that and so much more. So we were just talking about Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who you're playing in The Forgiven. Mm-hmm. So you actually met him?
Yeah, you know, I had met him years before because I have a peace organization, a conflict resolution organization that works in about 5 countries. So we had met and talked a number of times. And like I said, he's somebody I really admire. I mean, I quote like some of his phrases to the kids and the youths I work with. It's like one, with all these little bits of good put together, you can overwhelm the world.
Man.
Like, really beautiful, you know, things, and very important for us to realize that together we can like make a really big change on the planet.
So how do you approach characters like this? What is that process for you?
You know, like I say, I'd always admired him. So when I'm sitting there talking to him, I was actually just quite nervous, trying to figure out how I was going to be able to project this kind of real, you know, spiritual power and like love, you know what I mean, that he like projects out. And in a way, his sense of humor, you know, too, like the way he views the world. He has like sort of a smile at it, you know, while he's trying to like change it.
Father, please find me just one piece of bone.
I promise.
Don't go to that prison. He's only out to harm you.
But he knows who killed this girl.
What did you learn about yourself while taking on this role?
I'm always questioning like the capacity of like how far we can go to truly love and forgive, you know? Everyone says the same. I mean, Mother Teresa said the same thing. She's like, you know, talking about being able to see yourself in the person across from you, being able to recognize and have empathy really to who they are, and recognize that we all come from the same source, the same kernel, and that like the forgiveness is partly about yourself. It's about being able to release some of the pains and stuff that you have because of what someone's done. You know, to hold on to it is cancer, creating cancer almost inside of yourself. The pains and the sadness and the reactions that you may have, to be controlled by something that is amorphous, painful thing is not good for our spirits.
It really isn't. I love all the work that you're doing in Africa, and I love the movies that you've been in, because I feel that people, I hope at least, are starting to shed their perceptions of Africa, and they don't realize how beautiful and great and incredible it is. Do you feel the perceptions are starting to change for a more positive light on Africa?
I do. I think like the sort of economic, you know, benefits of being in the continent are really powerful to people. I think the country is starting to deal with its resources and start to rise up. You know, obviously there's places of difficulty that are coming out of the colonial, you know, space, you know, even still, but I think there's an excitement about business and what people are trying to do there.
And for a while, you focused on production and then focused more on acting. Do we see you going back to more production mode?
Well, my company always producing films.
Right.
I mean, the first one we did was Fruitvale Station.
Which was phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Dope.
Yep.
And, this Roxanne film that's going to be coming out, and we just did one recently also called Sorry to Bother You. So, you know, I'm kind of always actively, you know, producing films and stuff. I haven't directed in a while.
And congratulations on all the success for Black Panther. I mean, we're still talking about it and we're still in love with it. Did you have any idea the impact that it would have?
I did think it was going to be a big success. I have to be honest. You know, I believe in Ryan Coogler. I think that he had an amazing cast. You know, he wrote a great script, and I thought it was the right time.
It was beautiful. Whose team were you on, T'Challa or Killmonger? Because we have these debates all the time.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
in the movie, we know what side you're on, but
yeah, exactly.
when you watch it, were there any moments you're like, man, I really feel Killmonger right now?
The story of Killmonger and like a youth who's been abandoned by his family and stuff, and who has to fend for himself and grow up like in a hostile world in a way, and what it does to him is like it means a lot to Zuri. I mean, he cares, you know, and he feels partly responsible for not being there, for not being a keeper, you know, your brother's keeper and stuff, which is, I think, caring for each other and is one of the messages that Ryan put in the film. Was a big one about that we have responsibility for each other, you know.
Growing up in LA and seeing the riots and obviously during the civil rights movement and then the rise of the Black Panther Party, how did that feel for you to then be part of it now, a movie?
I mean, it was different. I was a little kid. I mean, I remember the Black Panther Party. They had their offices around the corner from my house. I used to see them every single day. They picked me up and tossed me up and down, you know. And then I remember the one day when I went home and their building was blown up. And I remember it really distinctly and very well. I'm sure it's partly one of the main reasons why I work in conflict resolution in my organization. And then I think what's happening, you know, if you're talking about the film, is like this beautiful movement of people like feeling empowered and also recognizing that we are still like together in this and one together in this. And there's just so many powerful messages that I think come from the project, that come from the film.
Are we ever gonna get a music album from you? Think ever?
No, I don't think so. I don't
No?
know. You never know, you know? You never know.
Why not?
We'll see. You
We'll
never
see
know.
how that goes.
Yeah, I sang a little on Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple times.
Did you know that Migos had a song called Forest Whitaker?
Yeah.
Yo, it's so great.
Yeah, it's a great song. They like put all
Your
the,
roles.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a pleasure to just be sitting here and having this conversation with you.
Thanks.
Of course.
We have so much more coming up next on Talk Stoop. I'm obsessed with her, Rita Moreno.
Accommodations for Talk Stoop are furnished by 135 West 52nd. These exclusive private condominiums feature 1 to 4 bedroom residences, duplexes, and triplex penthouses. Luxurious finishes and amenities await in this 12,000 square foot private lounge, ideal for relaxing and entertaining alike. Recharge in the 75-foot long custom mosaic tiled pool. This is elevated living at its finest. Available for immediate occupancy. To learn more, visit 135west52nd.com.
Reboots of classic TV shows don't always work, but one that does is the recent reboot of One Day at a Time. And personally, I give all of the credit to Rita Moreno. She's one of the few artists with an Oscar, Grammy, Tony, and an Emmy. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Sitting here talking to an icon, Rita Moreno. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm delighted to be here.
We're talking about One Day at a Time.
It just dropped, and it's become a huge success.
And it's season 2. Congratulations!
Yay!
Were you surprised at the great feedback it's been getting?
Yes and no. No, in the sense that I always felt it deserved an enormous amount of attention because it's extremely funny. And it's also makes you cry now and then. You know, we have real audiences. We shoot once a week, and we have it's like theater. We're usually going from joke to joke to joke to joke.
Yeah.
But we're so much more than jokes because we're about the characters.
And your role is Lydia, an amazing grandma who is spunky and very loyal and passionate and has something to say about everything.
There can only be one such woman in a family, and that is me.
And I talk like this because, you know, I'm very theatrical. And she talks like this, and she says wonderful things like, Jess, I saw that on the YouTube. She's marvelous. She's shameless. She'll flirt with a fence post if you let her.
Okay, everybody, I have an announcement. I'm seeing somebody.
Ooh!
It is a man.
It is a stallion.
And for an older woman, she's actually has sexuality.
Nice.
Well, I insisted on that. I said, if I'm going to play an old lady my age, then I want to be sure that she still remains sexually alive and alert.
I think that's always been missing in Hollywood in general. Well, I just
Especially
think in
with
media.
people who are older.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they suddenly become like your ovaries turn to dust or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is.
And there's other topics being touched on when we're talking about immigration, LGBTQ.
That's right.
We get it. You're here. You're queer. We're used to it. Move on.
From now to when you first started in Hollywood, do you feel that Latino representation is better?
It is better, but better is a far cry from terrific. And I think we still going to have to, you know, we still have to put up the good fight. It's terribly important that we hold hands. And it's not about Puerto Rican or Cuban or Argentinian. It's about We're Hispanic. And, John Leguizamo wrote a very angry op-ed for Billboard recently. And one of the things he said was, we have so much talent.
So much to offer.
Why are we so not present all the time? And then he said something kind of neat. He said, do you want awards? Does anybody have more awards than Rita Moreno?
Facts.
Blah, blah. But, and I thought, well, that's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Grammy,
and then
Emmy,
he's saying,
Oscar,
what do you want?
everything.
Why are we so underrepresented?
Why do you think that is? What are the hurdles?
I think people are still thinking in cliches. You see a lot of, or I did see in the last few years, some so-called Latino shows that were really embarrassing.
Yeah. What else do you want to see as far as more Latinos being represented in Hollywood?
I'd sure love to see us in movies. Boy, do you ever not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so rare. And that has to change. And I think it won't change till we put our collective feet down.
Yeah.
The way the black community did. They just, I thought they handled it really, really well.
I think it would be even more powerful if black community and Latino community got together and just everybody just say, hey, we are actually together, the majority.
Actually, we really are. I have a really very big following in the black community, which is interesting. Yeah. I never knew that for years. And I realized that I'm an outlier too. I mean, that's how I was raised. I was raised with people calling me terrible names in the neighborhoods, Spick and all this stuff from West Side Story. Oh, yes. Oh, I was called all kinds of things when I came from Puerto Rico. But here's the thing. When you're young, you're very tender. Right. And you're very impressionable. And if people treat you badly often enough and long enough, you begin to feel that you have no worth. You don't know why.
But you feel that.
But you feel that. And when I went to Hollywood, I was filled with all that kind of stuff.
I saw you talking about that, how in West Side Story, the heavy makeup.
Well, it wasn't heavy, it was dark. So I said that to my makeup man one day. I said, I don't understand why I have to wear a makeup doesn't match my color. And he actually said to me, are you ready? What are you, racist?
Huh?
I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
What do you think about the remake that Steven Spielberg's been working on for West Side Story?
Well,
Are you excited?
I'm excited, and there's a lot of trepidation. Because if it's really going to be current, which it's bound to be, right? It's probably going to be rap, don't you think?
It would have to be.
So I don't know how that's going to change the singing, the songs. I love Steven Spielberg's work. I'll be very interested to see what they do.
Next up, the multi-talented Rosie Perez weighs in on everything from her new NBC show Rise to why she'd love an In Living Color reboot. Be right back. I'm happy to welcome back Rosie Perez. She's feisty, fun, candid, and very passionate about everything she does.
This is such an honor to have Rosie Perez sitting here. Your home, this is where you live. How you feeling?
Great. How are you?
This is so incredible because so many of us are such fans of everything that you've done. And now you have this great series on NBC called Rise. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's about how an English teacher decides to take over the drama department and how he transforms young people's lives. And I play the assistant drama teacher who's been waiting 20 years to take the helm, and I get passed over for him.
I'm taking over the theater department.
Excuse me? And I decide to swallow my pride and stay because my character understands it's not about her, it's about the kids. Mm-hmm. And it's about, I think a lot of women are going to relate to my character.
Yeah, just hearing that, I was like, oh, my life, it's happening right now. Your character is Tracy Wolf. For yourself personally, do you feel that you're able to connect with her and it's not too much of a stretch of a role?
It's a stretch of a role in one aspect that you think that she's this vivacious, strong, tough woman, which she is, but she's also really lonely. And, she doesn't have any kids and puts all of her passion and energy into the kids in the drama department. And I can relate to that because I co-founded an arts ed charity called Urban Arts Partnership, and we've been in effect for 25 years. So what happened was my personal life met my professional life, because I've been doing what these characters are doing for a very, very long time.
In real life.
In real life.
Right.
And I bring that to my character as well.
That's enough of that. People, how many times do I have to tell you to pick up the yippity boom the booms and for the love of God, come in on the what? Downbeat. Thank you.
How do you feel about the underrepresentation of Latinos in film? Is that something that you just feel like, man, I really hope we can get rid of this underrepresentation?
I've been hoping that since I started. Oh my God, since Fight the Power.
Yes.
I've been waiting. But things are happening. They're slow, but they are happening. And what's really great too, I was on the set of Rise, and I was looking around, I'm looking at the kids, and it was so diverse. You know, and I saw brown people and black people and yellow people and white people and all different ethnicities existing on one show. That's the way it should be, you know? So people are waking up and changes are being made. They're slow, but we're getting there. So I'm keeping the hope alive.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have been the face of that for a very long time. You know, listen, we remember Do the Right Thing, White Men Can't Jump. And you know, for so many of us, we've always wanted to see an In Living Color reunion. Do you think that's ever gonna happen?
If it were to happen, it would be just mind-blowing. It would just be incredible. The synergy on In Living Color was amazing and vibrant, and so if they could recreate that magic and revisit that magic, I think it would be a nice thing.
Do you stay up to date with all the dances out here?
I do. One day I said on set, the kids I needed them to get excited during a scene, and I said, okay, come on, pay attention. They're like, and I go, and I said, these are bloody shoes. And they started cracking up, and I was like, right then, and they were like, what?
You can't dance?
I can dance. I can't dance like, you know, Fight the Power, girl. I got some age on me. You know, these are broken hips, you know. I've broken toes, I've broken knees, I've broken hips, I've broken shins, feet. Yes, I did it all. It was hip hop. Yes. There was no rules, there was no safety precautions. We were dancing in the streets, we were dancing on concrete. Man, we came up with some fly stuff, I'm telling you, you know, that's lasted very, very, very long.
Being such a fan of yours, and you are such an icon in hip hop world for so many of us, this is a personal question. What's your favorite memory with Tupac?
Dig. She went
I had to hit you with that one. I had to give you a real one.
Talk Stoop, honey. Here we go. Well, my favorite memory with Tupac, he was on tour with Digital Underground. He wasn't a recording artist yet. Oh, wow. And he was a roadie / background singer / background dancer. Right. And I was a roadie / choreographer / stage coordinator. And we used to just hang out all the time. And one of my favorite times with him was sitting in the hotel room waiting for the artists, as we always did. And he just opened up his book and started reading me his poetry.
What?
It was a beautiful thing, and I just looked at him, I was like, you're amazing. You are amazing. And he was like, you think so? I said, you are amazing.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
So I think that was one of my favorite. I have many favorite moments with him, and I do miss him dearly.
Oh, that's so sweet. Rosie Perez, thank you so much for spending time with us on the Stoop and talking that real talk with us. You know, this is always a second home for you. Anytime you want to come by, you are always welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to meet you.
Stick around. Dennis Quaid is stopping by the Stoop. If I listed all the hit movies Dennis Quaid has been in, we'd be here all day. Quaid has been a fixture of the big screen since the late 70s. He stopped by the Stoop to share a few words of wisdom and to talk about his new faith-based film, I Can Only Imagine. Okay, so I'm so used to seeing you being such a nice guy in movies, so seeing you in I Can Only Imagine as the bad guy.
Dad, I can do this.
No, you can't. And you're gonna blink your eyes and you're gonna realize that life has gotten you nowhere because you chased some stupid dream.
It's a true story. Bart Millard, who is the son, and he wrote this song that became a huge hit because of what it's about. Everyone who listens to it takes it in a very personal way, and it's a song of hope and joy. But And he wrote it for his father after his father passed, and about seeing him in heaven. But the relationship that he had with his father was a much different story.
I wrote you some letters. Did you get them?
Yeah. Threw them away.
Did you read them?
Nope.
Oh, well. I was just trying to make a memory. That's all.
I go to the movies to feel things. I think we all do. And when I read a script, that's the only time I'm going to be an audience member with the first time experience of this. And this story hit me in a place that is so profound that I have no words for. It's a story of divine intervention, I think, but it's of hope and how the impossible becomes possible.
And you know, I was reading up about everything that you've done. Your career is like this list of all these great accomplishments, and then I was looking at how open you've been talking about overcoming drug use, and that is a battle. When did that happen, that moment where you're like, okay, I just need to get this done?
I'd come to the point where I've surrendered, really. Tell you the truth, I laid in bed and like really kind of begged and screamed at God, nights and nights in a row, but I just got to a place where I'm still doing it my way, I guess.
Yeah.
But I needed something greater than myself.
For someone who's struggling with this right now, what's the best piece of advice you could give them?
Just let go, let God. I mean, all those things that sound like cliches, they're cliches because they're true.
Now, working out, you're in like one of the best shapes ever. And I know people my age who are nowhere near in shape as you, which is so funny to me because I'm talking about myself. Like, it's such a struggle to go to the gym.
You look great. What are you talking
Man.
about? You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful person.
I'm holding it in right now. You're out here in jet skis, shirt off. I'm like, you know what? That's what it's about.
Well, I'm very lucky that I do have some great leisure time.
I guess you were talking to a trainer, an older gentleman at the gym.
Yeah, he looked fantastic. He said, you take care of yourself in your 20s and 30s, and the rest will take care of itself.
Okay, so I have until 40, and then I could just let go. It's exhausting. And how's the Sharks? How's the band going?
They're doing great.
Yeah?
We've been together for 18 years, and we did about 40, 50 dates last year. We're gonna double that this year. We made a record with the assistance of T-Bone Burnett. He's a legend. So we're gonna start putting it out here soon.
Were you vulnerable when you first started doing music?
I have stage fright even doing this.
No.
Yeah, every time. Fear's a great motivator.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic motivator. You take that, and if you can take that and turn it into energy.
Yeah. It's perfect.
It's getting, yeah.
Do you keep up with any pop artists that you really enjoy?
There's a few out there.
If you had to work with Taylor Swift or Beyonce, who would it be?
I think I'd like to work with Beyonce.
Yeah.
She's from Houston, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'd like to work with Lil Wayne.
That would be.
That's who I'd like to work with.
And you know what? I think Wayne would. I think if
do
he
a
sees
normal
us.
story with Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I love it. That is great. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'm really excited for I Can Only Imagine.
Thank you.
Of course.
Today's show was all about film and TV heavyweights who aren't slowing down. So let's all take a cue from them, keep being creative, and never stop chasing your dream. If you want to see these interviews again, check us out, TalkStoopTV.com. All right, I'll catch you next time.